are your Eau Claire Axmen. There it goes. Return now. Otis Odom getting that close to the 20-yard line. Pretty good field position there for the St. Joseph's Goats coming into this one. Your Eau Claire Axmen got a win last weekend. Really hoping to continue that trend here tonight. Just what are we kind of looking here, Derek, if you're trying to secure a win if you're the Eau Claire Axmen?
Well, obviously you're coming off that nail biter against the Ozark Lunkers last week. And the key to them is, are they going to be able to get the offense going? We saw them struggle with that in week 1 of getting going against Hot Springs. They were able to get going against Ozarks, and they ended up winning.
And there we see Jarius Burnett taking the first carry of the game. And they go quickly to the line here. Remember, this is a very fast-paced game. Back to the lineup. Got a couple of yards on that play. Good solid gain. Second down. Back to pass. Angelo Trulio. And that is incomplete. Could not get enough mustard on that one. That's going to send it right back to a third down for the St. Joseph Goats.
Yeah, end up throwing it behind Otis Odom there, as Odom was cutting across the field and just ended up missing him.
And here we go again. Trulio takes the snap in the backfield, runs it up, gets a couple more yards, and just barely gets that first down. Maybe a little yard more than he had thought. And remember, for these new rules, you have to stay in between those hash marks if you want to be considered a runner.
Yeah, so a lot to look for in this league, especially for a quarterback trying to run the ball. So if he goes back and he's looking to pass, he has to stay within those hash marks to make a run forward.
And there we go. Big boulder truck there by Jarius Burnett, getting some more yards, and that's going to be second down there as they get close to striking distance.
Yeah, nice 4-yard run there by Burnett coming to the near side.
Trulio in the back, looking. He's outside the hash marks, and he's just going to throw it away. Just going to throw it away, and that was a smart decision by him. If he tried passing it out of there, he was beyond those hash marks. So as they set back up again.
Yeah, he could not run out of that because he had left the hash mark, so he tried to dump it off to Jamal Williams, but could not connect.
Throw it. What a sidearm over the middle. He's going to get inside of the 10-yard line, and it seems that Boo Smith is a little slow to get up. He is able to get up, though. That's good to see.
Yeah, Boo Smith, he's been a big player for them, especially in the receiving game, so expect to see a lot from him.
And there we go. Burnett gets a couple more yards from the line of scrimmage. Not very much there. Great job by that Eau Claire Axmen defense to close down on him there.
Yeah, the Axmen defense has been one of the better ones in the league this season. Even though their offense hasn't been absolutely the best in the league, their defense has definitely stepped up for them in these moments.
That you can say there. Trulio throws it. He's got that touchdown. Another catch for the game for Boo Smith, and he's got his first touchdown of the game, and the first touchdown of the entire game belongs to the St. Joseph's Goats.
Yeah, Boo Smith was just left wide open in the back of the end zone. Not much more could happen for the Axmen, and not exactly the start Eau Claire would be looking for on this first drive from St. Joseph. And now St. Joseph wants to make a statement as they're going to go for the two-pointer from the 10.
Yes, they are. Trulio throws it, and he can't get it. Oh, no, he did. He did get it. Just right at that back corner. What a snag, and that's going to make this an 8-0 lead here for the St. Joseph's Goats. Just right barely in that back corner did he get that over the top to Jamal Williams. A great catch and a great job there by the Goats.
Yeah, Jamal Williams able to tack on a couple more for the St. Joseph Goats here, but we're yet to see what Eau Claire can do on offense. We've seen what St. Joseph is capable of. We'll see what the Axmen can do now.
That's true, and the Axmen really trying to get back into this, especially with that punch in the jaw that St. Joseph gave him there. And I mean, you can't say enough about Jamal Williams. He is just a big man. He's a hard guy to stop when he's trying to go up for those balls.
Yeah, I mean, that one's back in the back corner there. That's a spot that's tough to defend, but one that a lot of these guys should be used to defending at this point in the juncture of the season. So you would think that they're able to get to that spot, yet sometimes they're just going to make a good enough play, and that's what happened with Jamal Williams there.
Exactly, and he's just an absolute athlete in the back. Can just out-jump anyone and can make some great, great catches. As we go for another throw-off here, that's going to be number 6, Lorenzo Thompson throwing it, and that's going to be a bit of a duck in the air. Returned now by number 1 for Devon, and he's going to get a little bit of wiggle room in there, but he's not going to get too far. A little bit of an extra after there, but still a good return by number 1 for your home Eau Claire Axmen for Devon.
Yeah, Devon Ford has been one of the better players at returns in the entire league. Actually leads the entire league in return yards, coming into this game with 203. The next best in the entire league is actually Otis Odom for the St. Joseph Goats. He's at 111. That's how far up Devon Ford is, and that was another good return by him right there.
And you can tell he's just a great gadget player for this team and this offense, as gains a couple of yards there is Cinquay Grant, the wideout. Not much on the play there, but still a good chunk to get a little bit of extra wiggle room to really get some momentum forward.
Yeah, that one actually went backward by a good 1 inch, so instead of going forward, they end up 1 inch in the backfield, and that was actually Wade Freeman on that run, the quarterback.
Takes the snap, looking, firing that one deep. Oh, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by number 10. What an absolute catch, Malik Wilson. And the St. Joseph's Goats are going to take possession.
Personal foul.
Right there at
Roughing
about the
the passer.
15-yard line.
Defense number 55. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
We're actually going to get a flag on this play. It's going to give the Axmen the ball still. It's going to be a 15-yard penalty. The crowd noise prevented me from hearing what the call was. But either way, looks like the Axmen are going to keep this football and get it all the way down to the 20.
I was going to say, there was a lot of contact down there for nothing to have been thrown, but just some great job by the refs. And just like that, we're going to have we're going to have one more play go right here, and there's going to be a snap, and that's going to be a good run right up the middle. That's Otis Odom again. We talked about him a little earlier, number 7. But we're going to send it to break right after that. And for everyone, for fans right now, see if you made the highlight reel, check your points, and claim your rewards right.
We're not going to break quite yet, so don't get a little bit antsy, folks. We got one more play here.
Taking the snap. Boone. Going. Cinquay Grant. He's going to get stopped at the 1, though. Another good run by Wade Freeman. My bad. We got a couple of different numbers on this.
Don't worry, you got there eventually, but great run by Wade Freeman, getting it all the way down to the 2-yard line and putting the Axmen in scoring position.
The snap there by Wade Freeman, hands off right up the middle, and just stopped just shy again. That's Joel Shaw.
Yeah.
Nearly in there, though.
I mean, you don't need to punch it in right away here if you're the Axmen. You can take your time getting into the end zone, but what you really want to do is make sure you're not getting into a 4th down situation where you're about to not get in.
Freeman, handoff right off to the side, and that's another touchdown in there is Devon Ford. Right off to the hash mark on the right side, and he just scooted right in there, got a cut through an ankle tackle, but a great job there by Ford.
Yeah, Devon Ford able to battle through that tackle right at his ankles and able to squeeze his way into the end zone. And now all of a sudden the Axmen respond with their very own touchdown.
But they're only going for 1 here instead of the 2 that the St. Joseph's Goats went for. A little bit of an interesting choice, but I mean, getting any points on the board is good no matter what in this fast-paced game.
And I mean, it's not really a bad decision here to go for the 1 here. You're more likely to score the extra point here. It's not likely St. Joseph will get the 2 again.
And there we go. Wade Freeman making some magic happen, but that's going to be way too far out the back corner, and it'll be incomplete. So that try will be no good. It will stay 8-6 St. Joseph.
Yeah, let's not forget You may be down 2 points right now, but the least you can score on a possession is 6. So.
And here we go with that throw off again. Returnable. A good return inside by Otis Odom, the wide receiver. He's going to get close to that 15-yard line, and I believe they're going to mark him right at that 15. Yes, they are. Another good start for them.
I mean, there's a reason why Otis Odom is second in the league, only behind Devon Ford in return yards. He's been able to get that extra 2-3 yards after contact, which has been key to getting the Goats some good field position, starting at their own 15.
You're absolutely right. And there they send Boo Smith in motion. Back to pass outside the pocket, and he's going to get number 5, Ryan Martinez, on that. A bullet of a pass by Angelo Trujillo, the quarterback for the St. Joseph Goats. That's going to get them to the 20-yard line in Eau Claire Axmen territory here with 7:19 to go and counting on the clock. Trujillo takes the snap. Bit of a wobbler on that one. Looks back to pass. He's under pressure. That's going to be nearly a sack. And I believe they might give it to him. They're pointing at that out of bounds boundary over there, close to the 25, but I believe they're just going to call it incomplete. They will just call it incomplete. That was a great pass rush there by the Eau Claire Axmen.
Yeah, Stephen Thomas able to get into the backfield there and put a lot of pressure on the quarterback Trujillo there, but in the end, it just resulted in an incomplete pass. Still, though, great pass rush.
Absolutely, and here comes Trujillo. Throws it across his body, almost intercepted. Oh, you know Shaq Currington really wants that one back. That went right in his hands.
Yeah, right in the chest there. That's one he kind of wants to pick and take the other way, but that's kind of a tough one to get complete control of, leaping into the air. But still, that's one he wants back, and you could tell his reaction back over at his own 20. He was doing some push-ups. He was not happy.
Trujillo up the middle, and that's a great tackle there to stop him before he could get anything going. That's going to be number 4, Antoine Holloway, the defensive back. Great arm tackle there. Brings him right down.
Yeah, now it's 4th down, and all of a sudden the Goats have a long way to go on a 4th down and 9 yards.
Oh, and there's a flag. There's a flag. They tried sending Lorenzo Thompson in motion, but they didn't get the snap off in time, and this is going to be a false start.
Offense, number 7.
And remember, you can send
5-yard penalty.
in motion wherever you really
4th down.
want. So he took off running towards the line of scrimmage, but then past said line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped. That's a false start penalty, and that'll back up the Goats an extra 5 yards to make it a 4th down and 14 yards.
And that's the tricky part about sending people in motion. You have to time that perfectly. And there goes Trujillo with another long snap as he's getting chased down the field towards the corner of the end zone. That's not going to get there. He had Lorenzo Thompson in his sights. He just couldn't get through there with that pass rush. Thomas Stephen again just getting right in his face. And it's going to be an incomplete, and it's going to be Eau Claire Axmen ball as they take over on downs.
Yeah, Stephen Thomas again getting in his face, and while Trujillo tried to fling the ball to the back of the end zone, looking for that Lorenzo Thompson in the back corner, it just couldn't connect and it went over him.
Yeah, and it looked like he had almost on a dime there, but just too much mustard on that and just went right over the top there. So now your Eau Claire Axmen take over possession here. They're going to line up in that I formation. Freeman in the backfield. Calling out a motion. Takes the snap. It's a pitch. That's going to be a good cutback. Stanley Boom Williams. Oh, what a run. And he gives a little point afterwards. Good run, getting close to the 10-yard line there is Stanley Boom Williams.
Yeah, you want a textbook run right there. That was perfect. It was a pitch play to the near side. Stanley Boom Williams able to cut that ball back the other way and able to get 10 extra yards that he probably wouldn't have gotten if he had went straight forward.
They've got a bunch in the backfield. Freeman takes the snap, hands it off. That's going to be an end around. Oh, and Devon Ford is in. Oh, no, they're going to call him down there. He was very close to getting in. He almost tight-roped that. Everyone on that far side seemed to think it was a touchdown, but the refs say no. He was out of bounds at that 5, and that's the hard thing about this game. You can't really tell who's out of bounds right away until you look over and see, okay, yeah, the ref said it's out of bounds. Okay, yeah, just got to make sure.
Yeah, I mean, without a line, you got just a wall to tell you out of bounds, so it's kind of hard to tell what's in and what's out. If you touch that wall, you're out of bounds.
Freeman, jump ball. Oh, incomplete. They thought that there was, they thought they had a penalty there. Mo Strong and Joel Shaw thought there was a penalty on that, but no, the refs say play on, and it will fall incomplete. So this will bring up now a 3rd down and goal here, down within the 5-yard line.
Yeah, not a long way to go. They can actually still get a 1st down at the 3-yard line, so it's actually a 3rd and 2, but still, more likely than not, they'll score if they pick up the 1st down.
Wade Freeman, high ball, throws it. Oh, end zone, touchdown! What a catch by Mo Strong, just strong-arming that ball clean out of the air. Man, that ball hit his hands, and it was like a magnet. He just did not move with it, got his feet down. That was a touchdown.
Yeah, that was a good play. Wade Freeman noticing Mo Strong in that corner. Again, like I said earlier, one of the toughest spots to defend. And Mo Strong was just there for it, able to reach up and catch that ball.
He was just great. He was in the right place at the right time there, and that was a high ball for Wade Freeman to be catching there. And they're going to line up for a one-point attempt here. Freeman in the backfield, couple of players in motion here. Looking to throw, fires it. Oh, almost had his man again, Mo Strong, but he went through his hands that time, a little bit behind him as well. Just couldn't get that connection there, and it's going to stay 12
on the field.
8. And we will come right back to you after this. Fan begins sending it down the field to number 7, Otis Odom. He's going to get a return back. He's got a good, solid return towards the midfield marker at the 25, and that's going to set up the St. Joseph Goats again. But we'll see what happens. Last time they weren't able to really get much going on the ground on their offensive possession. However, that was a really good start for them. They really needed a return like that one.
Yeah, I mean, you go from up 8-0 to giving up back-to-back touchdowns to the Axmen. You're going to want to find a counter, and with that Otis Odom return right there, putting you at midfield, you've got a great chance to capitalize if you're the Goats.
Here we go. Trujillo throws it to that sideline. That's going to be a cut up the middle there from number 7, I should say, Otis Odom. And Otis Odom's been making a name for himself this game as he continues his onslaught. Trujillo in the backfield. Oh, that's going to be a fumble, and it's going to end up in the hands of number 4 for the Axmen, all the way down to the sideline. Did he get in? He did. Oh, man. Antoine Holloway, the scoop and score all the way for a touchdown. Axmen, another one on the board.
Well, that snapping had been suspect for the St. Joseph Goats really all day. Oscar Scott had been putting that ball a little bit high every single time to Angelo Trujillo, but it was about time one of them just fell out of his hands, and Antoine Holloway was there to take it to the house.
And you can say that again. I mean, we were talking about just how frequently that snap had been high on him. It was just a matter of time until that went around. Here we go. They're going to take it an extra point here at the 10, which means they're going for 2 here after being up 18-8 right now. Motion. Devon Ford. Freeman towards the end zone, and that's going to be an incomplete pass. Defended very well on that play by Clarence Taylor. And you could just tell from that body attitude there at the end, the St. Joseph's Goats are just beside themselves with that last possession. I mean, talk about just a nightmare for the Goats.
Yeah, you get that great return from Otis Odom. You start to get a little momentum going the other way, and that's really when the fumbles always strike at the worst time possible. And when the Goats start to get something going, that's the last thing they really expected to happen, just a fumble and a scoop and score.
And the scoop and score just makes it a whole lot worse. I mean, it's one thing to fumble, but then to allow it to get picked up and ran for a touchdown, man, you can just tell that the Goats are beside themselves. With the Eau Claire Axmen, I mean, they are just hyping up the crowd. They are having a good time. They're having fun out there, and that's the kind of game that they wanted to play. They wanted to go out there. They wanted to show them who's boss and show them, hey, we're in this league now. We're ready to go. We're ready to get another win going tonight.
Yeah, this team, they've come out ready to play today. They have not come out slow. 3 touchdowns already here in this first quarter, and well, while we're near the end of this first quarter with 41 seconds left, it has been a game where the Axmen have been really in control since that first St. Joseph possession.
Here we go with the throw off. That's going to be deep. Mo Strong throws that all the way across, and that's going to be Otis Odom. He's going to try and get another return going. He spins around, almost got out of it, but a great wrap-up and great tackle by Stanley. Boom. Williams. And here we go with the St. Joseph Goats getting it right at the 15, so not really quite the return as that Otis Odom had last time, but still a decent return nonetheless.
Yeah, with 30 seconds left in this quarter, we can expect this drive to continue, barring any turnovers here. We can expect this drive to continue into the second quarter.
Trujillo throws it to the sideline again, and that's all tipped up in the air, but no one was in sight, so no one could go for that interception. Another ball that seems to hit the hands of the receiver, but just could not corral it again, and almost an interception at that, too. If there was just anyone in that area, that could have been a pick.
Yeah, Otis Odom had that ball slipped right through his hands, and that's one he might want back.
That is the end of the first quarter.
And it appears the coach has called timeout for the Eau Claire Axmen, and we are going to take a timeout for them as well.
At some point, preferably not when St. Joseph starts driving.
Yeah, as that snap nearly got away from Trujillo again, dancing in the backfield. He's looking around. He came all the way around to the other side of the field. He's trying to throw that away, and that's way into the stands. Almost a diving catch there made, but that was way out there. So nothing doing for the St. Joseph's Goats, and that's going to be another incompletion.
Yeah, once again, that snapping from Oscar Scott's being a little bit suspect in this one. He's throwing it high pretty much every other play. So that's one thing to keep your eye on for the remainder of this game. If that continues to happen, then the Goats could be in a lot of trouble.
Trujillo fires it towards the sideline, cannot get it. That kind of bounced right in front of number 5, Ryan Martinez, the wide receiver. Just could not get a good handle on that. Another kind of close. It wasn't as high as the other ones where he kind of got it down a little bit more on that snap, but still, it's hard to really adjust when it's an
St. Joseph has elected to surrender. It'll be first down and 10 at the 15-yard line, Eau Claire.
And so this is going to be a turnover on downs as the Eau Claire Axmen are going to regain possession there. They're going to take it at the 15. It's going to be going the long side of the field. Resetting back up here. Axmen on defense have been great tonight. Just stopping St. Joseph's Goats every step of the way here. Except for that opening drive where they took it and they got that 8-point lead. But it didn't matter because the Eau Claire Axmen have come back and have made it an 18-0 run to this point. Wade Freeman in the backfield. Tosses it. On the end is Devon Ford, and he's not going to get too much on that play. They might give him close to 5 yards. Looks closer to about 3 or 4, though.
Yeah, Devon Ford there on that pitch play. We saw Stanley Boom Williams execute it perfectly earlier in this game. That time, Devon Ford tried to take it straight. That time, only 3 yards instead of the 20 that Stanley got.
Freeman all the way across his hands, and right through the hands of Mo Strong, but great coverage there on the play by 26, Jalen Knox, to really get in his face and not really allow a clear catch. That's going to bring up third down.
Yeah, that's a one-on-one 50-50 play there. Mo Strong going with Jalen Knox. They're both running face-to-face, going to the end zone, and that can go either way. And in that situation, Mo Strong ended up being the loser, and it ended up going Jalen Knox's way as he knocked it down.
Freeman throws it towards that sideline. He's going to get close to the first down. There is Mo Strong, but can't get too close. He's almost got that first down. It's going to be bringing up a fourth down, I believe, unless they give it to him. No, they will not. They are going to say just a yard shy.
It's a big 4th and 1 here for the Axmen. They've got a chance to really break this one open. If they can get this 4th and 1 here and get another drive going, they've got a chance to pull away. But if they stall out here, it gets great field position to the St. Joseph Goats.
That's your right. Freeman in the backfield. 12 minutes to go and counting. 18-8 lead for the Axmen. Another toss to the right side. Cut back. Oh, he's going to get that corner, and he might just have it. They're going to give it to him. That's going to be a first down for Austin Batcher. What a great cutback by him. To see that side of the field was completely covered on the right side and then turn back to the left hash mark and get that first down. That's the kind of spirit you need on an Eau Claire Axmen football team.
Yeah, the vision by Batcher there, just to notice all of this space on the near side. And with the need of just 1 yard, he got plenty more than that.
And that's going to be a wildcat kind of handoff, and it'll be Batcher, and he's going to lose some yards on that one, maybe a 2 or 3 on that. Not really much going on there. They kind of did a little bit of a Joel Shaw handoff, but couldn't get too much as the chains fall down.
Yeah, so now a 2nd down and a long way to go as they've now fallen behind the initial line of scrimmage. We'll call it 2nd down and 11 from what I can see.
10:45 to go. Wildcat position again, and this one's going to be almost another fumbled snap, but it's going to be wrapped up and taken down there. Joel Shaw had it. He somehow corralled it in the backfield. It looked like he was going to lose it. However, he was able to regain it. It's going to be a massive loss, though. That's going to back him up all the way close towards that 13 to 12 yard line. 3rd down.
Well, remember, in their last game against Ozarks, they were on a 4th down and 25 when they had that game-winning play. So don't forget, they're very capable of picking up these big plays, especially on 4th down in a big situation.
And this one being 3rd down, it just gives you another chance right here. Freeman, back to throw, fires that one deep, and oh, no one down close towards the end zone. That's going to land incomplete, and here we go again. This might be another 4th and 20 try here as we have 4th down with that missed throw by Wade Freeman.
Yeah, it looked like he was going for Mo Strong.
Eau Claire has elected to surrender. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line, St. Joseph.
And just a bit too far out of his reach.
Just a little bit too much air under that one as we flip fields here, or flip sides of the fields, I should say. Nearly again. Getting really close with some of those catches, but just too much on them. Freeman's had a few of those where it's looked like, oh man, that's almost right into the hands, right into the bread basket of their Eau Claire wideout, but just right too far over the top, and just another incompletion as this turns around this team. Handoff there as that'll be number 2, Trujillo, getting a little bit of yards on that play. May have actually lost a yard.
Yeah, a little pitch play there, actually. Trujillo pitched it to Martinez, and then Martinez gave it right back to Trujillo, but they end up gaining just 1 yard out of all of it.
A whole lot of nothing on that one. Trujillo back to throw. Fires it, almost intercepted. Right through the hands of Holloway. He had a touchdown earlier with that scoop and score. Could not corral that interception, though.
Yeah, you could tell he wanted that second takeaway today, but it just slips right through his hands. But either way, sets up a 3rd down and long for St. Joseph.
3rd down, 8:42 to go and counting in this 2nd quarter. Snap to Trujillo. Looking, firing. He's got his man there. That's going to be Boo Smith. He's going to have enough for that first down, and St. Joseph's moves the chains.
Yeah, that's a big third down play they really needed. Third down and a long way to go. They end up getting just enough to move the chains and put themselves at midfield.
Moving quick here. Trying to get everything set up is the refs. Trujillo takes us another high snap. Looking, stays in the middle. Oh, he's got him. Lights come on as that's going to be close to a catch. That was a near sack there by number 59, Stephen Thomas. But wow, what a play.
Yeah, right as Stephen Thomas was going for that, pretty much every single light in this building just turned on right at that moment.
They play on, though. Trujillo looking around, looking. He's going to take another sidearm. That might be another catch, too. Right towards that boundary line and a toe drag swag. They're going to give him that first down catch, and they're going to continue to move fast here. They've been trying to keep up that tempo, trying to tire out that Eau Claire Axmen defense.
Yeah, Otis Odom right on that sideline, able to get that first down catch, and all of a sudden, St. Joseph is in a good position to score here.
First down here. Maybe a gain of a couple there on that pitch to Ryan Martinez on the outside of the hash marks. Maybe gaining a 1, I believe. No, they'll actually lose a yard there, so it's going to be second down and a loss of 1 as the lights come back off. Snap here to Trujillo. Dancing around, looking, firing towards the middle of the end zone. They gave it to him. Touchdown! Boo Smith. Just a great job. He was very precise on that throw, was Trujillo on that. He's been kind of dancing around. He hasn't really looked like himself, just kind of needing to settle down a bit, but he found that time there where he wasn't getting chased around by Stephen Thomas, and they got that touchdown.
Yeah, Boo Smith was pretty much standing unguarded right in that spot, and Trujillo able to use his vision and spotted him there.
A little pooch snap there to Trujillo. Trujillo looking, dancing around, firing towards that corner, and he is not going to get his receiver there. That's going to be down close to the 2 on that extra point try. That was number 7, Otis Odom. He's been getting some catches today, just couldn't get it there. And that one spiral a little bit better on it. Axmen returning here. Devon Ford cuts up the middle. He's got some good blocking. He's going to make it around that right side. Oh, and just got barely pushed out of bounds there. Well, I guess you could say inbounds. He ran into the pad. That's something different about what this game is now. You get pushed into the pad, you're out of bounds, and that's what happened to Devon Ford, but still a good return regardless.
Yeah, I talk about it so much. Devon Ford being really the best returner in the entire league, and he's not proving it wrong by any means today. He is continuing to get big return after big return, getting it to about the 20 of the Axmen to midfield consistently, this time to the 20 of St. Joseph.
He's been very mobile, very active for them today as he goes in motion. Toss to that right side, cut back here towards the middle, but he's going to get wrapped up by a pile of St. Joseph's goats. That was number 23, Austin Batcher, getting corralled and brought back for a loss of about 1 on the play.
Yeah, Austin Batcher just ran straight into a brick wall there. He tried to find a way through a hole, but no hole really formed for him, and the brick wall that was the St. Joseph goat defense there, able to just stop him.
Second down now at the 20-yard line. In scoring distance here is Wade Freeman and the Axmen. Handoff up the middle. Good cutback there by Batcher, and he's going to get a little bit more than he did last time. About 6 or 7 they're going to give him on that play. It's going to bring up third down and short.
Yeah, third down and short. Well, third down about 4 yards here for the Axmen. If they're able to convert this here, there's a good chance. Well, once you get inside the 10-yard line, you are in a very good spot in this league to score points. Very consistently, teams are able to put the ball in the end zone once they cross that 10-yard line threshold. So you can expect that the Axmen can pick up this 3rd and 4.
And here goes Freeman, handed off again to Batcher. Batcher's going to get a little bit more on that one, but it'll still bring up 4th down. Maybe a couple yards grabbed on that play, but not too much seen there.
Yeah, so now we'll see. Yeah, they'll gain only 1 yard on the play, so it'll be a 4th down and 3 yards still to go. So the Axmen have their work cut out for them here to try to pick up this 4th down. And they got to get to the 10 in order to reset the downs.
Freeman takes the snap, dancing around, looking, trying to run that. He's staying in the hash marks, and he's going to get close to the 5-yard line, if not closer. A big first down from Freeman. What a run.
Yeah, Wade Freeman able to stay inside those hash marks at that line of scrimmage, which is oh so important as a quarterback. You can't go out of that, or that's a running lane violation. He was able to do so, get inside the 5-yard line, and now the Axmen are in a great spot. We're going to have a offside penalty coming up on St. Joseph.
And just another smart play by this Axmen squad here, and it's going to take them offsides, and it's going to get them
defense with contact, number 55. Half the distance to the goal.
Axmen able to catch
first down.
An extra break there, as pretty much the entire St. Joseph team jumped on that play. So now they get to the 1.5-yard line, we'll call it here, as now with 3.5 to go in this first half, the Axmen looking like they might add on.
Stacked backfield. Freeman hands it off, and that's going to get a walk-in touchdown there from Stanley Boom Williams.
Holding.
But there's a holding on the 23. Play, and this is going to get
10-yard
called
penalty.
back.
First down.
No touchdown there for Stanley Williams. Eau Claire Axmen get moved back instead.
And you can tell Eau Claire is not very happy with that call, but, I mean, it's official's judgment. You can't really do much about it. Complaining isn't really going to help in this case. So wipe the touchdown off the board for Eau Claire. They will have to go with a first down and goal from the 11-yard line.
And that's the one bright side of this. It's still first down and 11 near that goal line as they reset here. Freeman in the backfield, backs to his right and left. Man in motion, looking, gives it off there. That's going to be Stanley Williams again. He might get a couple of yards there. They're going to give him about 2 or 3. Not too much. They're going to get close back to the 10-yard line. Still in scoring distance, but now you're at second down.
Yeah, you still got a good distance to that end zone there, that black end zone, about 10 yards away from where that football is right now. So still plenty of work to do, but second down, if you can get at least 5 yards on this play, you'll be in a great spot.
Man in motion. Freeman back to throw towards the end zone. That's going to get picked off and back the other way. It's going to be St. Joseph's Goats. This could be a touchdown all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Malik Wilson. But there's flags on the play. This could be called back here, whether it was on the return or on the actual play itself. We're going to see.
Yeah, Malik Wilson was the one who took it back. We'll see if it stands.
After the interception, personal foul, illegal blindside block, number 3. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal, first down.
And that's a that's a breath of relief if you're the Eau Claire Axmen, but for the St. Joseph Goats, that's another penalty that has wiped away a scoring opportunity there, as that was a beautiful pick 6 by number 10, Malik Wilson, for the St. Joseph's Goats. But at least if you're the Eau Claire Axmen, you may have turned over the ball, but you didn't give up a pick 6.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can take a break once in a while. And yeah, you gave away the ball in a good spot, but at the very least, you force St. Joseph to actually go on offense and make them earn their points instead of just taking it back the other way.
Right you are, as Eau Claire Axmen lead 18-14 here, 2:10 and running on that clock. The snap here. Trujillo looking to throw, fires it across his body, and that's going to be caught. Close towards that first down marker. They're going to call him a little short on that one.
This is the 2-minute
That's
timeout.
going to be Lorenzo Thompson with a great play on that ball made. 2-minute warning here. Eau Claire Axmen leading 18-14 in this second quarter. St. Joseph's, though, on the drive, trying to get another score on, trying to take this lead at halftime. And just has been an exciting back-and-forth game. And don't forget, the post-game show with Tim Brown featuring some of the top plays and league insights will be after this game. Some stuff that you won't want to miss. And for the fans out there, See if you made that fan highlight reel. Check your points. Claim your rewards. We'll be right back after a quick break. Gotcha. Welcome back to the Sonnentag Center. Your Eau Claire Axmen leading the St. Joseph's Goats 18-14 here. 2-minute drill in the second quarter as they take the snap. And Trujillo is actually going to get to the middle, but he's going to toss that. And somehow that's going to get corralled and brought down as Ryan Martinez, but not until he gains a massive chunk of yards.
Yeah, Trujillo, the standard pitch play, runs it up the middle, and then Ryan Martinez was ready for the pitch to the outside. And it ends up working. They get bonus yardage.
Trujillo throwing that across. Could not find anyone on that right corner. That's going to go out of bounds. Incomplete. Second down.
Yeah, for us over here, that back corner, we can't see it. I know you guys on that camera can't tell either, but there was a lot of that back corner. It's a complete toss-up. Somebody could be there. We don't know. They know out on the field, but
a bit of a blind side for us.
Yeah, it's a blind spot for pretty much everybody up here.
And that's a great catch there. Boo Smith again, and that ball's going to come out. Eau Claire Axmen think they have the ball. Let's see what the refs have to say about it. There's a little bit of conferring. Axmen think it's their ball. Still some talking on it. Did that ball come out of Boo Smith's hands at the end? Boo Smith also down on the field right now. He's getting looked at, hoping he is okay after that collision. Still some talk between the refs. I didn't see much on that one. It looked like he had hit the ground before the ball came out, but if they were 50-50 with that ball, more than likely that could have been a fumble.
Yeah, we'll get the rule.
There is no fumble on the play. The runner's forward progress was stopped. Second down.
Forward progress stopped, so he did hit the ground, but obviously he's still getting looked at right now. As there's some more chatter about what had happened. But in reality, if he hit the ground, there's not much you can do about that. You can't really take an instant replay to really check it over and look it back. We don't have anyone out there for that right now. However, it looked pretty clear to me, at least, that it looked like his back hit the ground and then the ball came up.
Yeah, from what I see up here, I don't think this is a very challenge-worthy play here.
Forward progress is not a challengeable situation.
They would not challenge it.
Second down.
All right, yeah. It doesn't look like anybody is going to challenge this here. It'll maintain St. Joseph ball. It'll be second down and 5 yards from the 12-yard line of the Eau Claire Axmen.
And Trujillo trying to get another touchdown on the board here to take that lead here going into halftime. Right now, 1:37 left on the clock and counting. 18-14 Axmen. Trujillo hands it off. That's going to be a first. Oh, a good hit there by the Eau Claire Axmen. That was a bunch of them. Shaquane Currington was one of the big instigators on that play. That's going to be a good chunk of yards. It's going to get them close to that first down, but not enough so far. Trujillo looking, firing towards that corner. He got his man, but it's going to be still not a touchdown yet. 1:11 left to go on this clock in the second quarter.
Yeah, and with there being not a lot of time left in this first half, St. Joseph would like to score here because the Axmen get the ball to start the second half, and you don't want the Axmen to go into this. If you're going to score, you want to score late.
Trujillo got his man there at the 1, but he's going to roll right in. Are they going to give it to him? No indication yet. It looked like he may have rolled in for a touchdown, but yeah, I believe they're going to give that to him. Yes, they will. That was a touchdown there for number 5, Ryan Martinez, and he had a solid catch earlier in this game. They're going to line up for this 2-point conversion here from the 10.
Yeah, the thing now with St. Joseph scoring now is they're actually going to switch it. They're going to go for 1 now from the 5. But the thing with St. Joseph scoring now, you still give the Axmen a whole minute to go down the field, which in this league is plenty of time to go down and score.
Especially with those short fields there. That's going to be an incomplete pass, and it's going to stay a 20-18 lead for the St. Joseph's Goats. And I mean, they went quickly down that field, and as you had said, maybe a little bit too quickly here. Eau Claire Axmen, they were doing well on offense, except for those last couple of drives. Now they're going to have a chance to go down the field in just 1 minute, especially with 3 timeouts left, to be able to get another touchdown and potentially take this lead going into halftime.
Yeah, that's a key there. They've still got their 3 timeouts to use. So if they run into any trouble, like a stoppage near the 10-yard line or something, they can burn those timeouts if they need to. But for now, they currently trail by 2, 20-18, as all of a sudden it's St. Joseph that's going on the big run. They have now scored the last 12 points, and after trailing 18-8.
And especially with how small these fields are, taking timeouts, it's not going to be seen as much because of how quick this game goes as the throw-off goes towards number 1, Devon Ford, as he's going to get a run back here. He's got a little bit of open space, and the ball came out for a second, but he's going to be down by contact, and he's going to give Eau Claire Axmen the drive close towards the 20-yard line, marching on towards the St. Joseph's end zone.
Yeah, Devon Ford ended up losing his helmet on that play at the 18-yard line. Just went down, the thing popped right off his head. Either way, he's fine over there, so nothing to be too concerned about there, just helmet goes flying off.
Freeman, that handoff to the guy we were just talking about, and he's going to get dropped for a big loss there, close to a 5-yard loss for the man Devon Ford on that play. 46 seconds and counting now. This is where you'd see some of the timeouts taken, but they're not taking any right now. 40 seconds and ticking. 18-20 is the score. St. Joseph's leading. Now at the 30-second mark, Freeman got hit from behind. That ball sails. Oh, and it goes right out of the hands of Mo Strong. Very, very close to a big-time play, but just could not corral it on that one.
Yeah, Mo Strong, that's a common occurrence we see when the Axmen are down in these big plays. We tend to see Mo Strong run on that streak route, going downfield, and a lot of times just not quite connecting with him. So, but I know one of these times that play is going to connect, and they're going to get that big play to the end zone. One of these times, it's just got to go their way.
They've been very, very close on a few of those connections, and I believe they're going to take a timeout.
Timeout, St. Joseph.
They are.
They're
it's
first of the half.
St. Joseph's, though, that actually calls a timeout. Obviously not liking what they were seeing on defense there. 26 seconds left to go in this second quarter. 20-18. St. Joseph's leading on this one. Kind of getting a little bit of a substitution going here. Just get a little better defensive personnel out on the field. Remember, this is 7-on-7, so a lot of these players are playing both sides. A lot of these players are going to get tired during this game. It's very fast-paced. There's a lot of bodies. Even though it's only 7-on-7, there's still a lot of bodies involved in this game.
Yes, a lot. There's a lot of room to go. There's still plenty of room to move around with, but still 7-on-7 in this space in football is still a lot of contacts going to go down, and that means a lot of guys are going to get tired, and that's just the thing with this sport. So the key is going to be maintaining your energy throughout the game. Who's going to do it the best?
Said it very well. Wade Freeman on 3rd down and long throws that one deep, and it's caught! And what did you say? You spoke it into existence. 20 seconds to go and a touchdown there on the connection to Mo Strong from Wade Freeman. What a dime.
Well, did I or did I not say it was bound to work one of these times? That's it right there. Mo Strong going on the streak route, ends up connecting on the 50-50 ball. And just like that, the Axmen go from their own territory into the end zone. And now it looks like they want to go make a statement, go up by 6 here with the 2-point play, which, remember, they get the ball to start the second half. If they can go up by 6 here and then go on the next drive, which first they got to prevent St. Joseph from scoring in 20 seconds, but if they're able to get this 2, go up by 6, and then go down and score another touchdown, all of a sudden they're up 2 touchdowns in this game.
And especially at home, that's a big statement to make. The throw here by Freeman. He's looking around. He's dancing. He found his man wide open in the middle. That's Devon Ford again. And that's going to give them a 6-point lead with 20 seconds to go. What a just very patient in the middle was Freeman to find his man, Devon Ford, for that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, on these 2-point conversions, it's very important to not get too antsy and throw the ball away. Wade Freeman, calm and collected. Ball getting chased around. He still was able to evade the sack and put the ball right into Devon Ford's breadbasket and ends up getting the extra 2 points for the Axmen.
And as you said, that's going to be very important, especially if they can get into that half and get that second score to go back up 2 scores on them again. However, now they need to get that stop on defense. They've had some good stops here on defense recently. However, St. Joseph's, though, has been really clawing back into this one. They really need to be ready for this next drive.
Yeah, this has been a game of runs. One team goes on. Well, it started with St. Joseph scoring the first 8, but then the Axmen responded with 18 straight. St. Joseph did get a 12-0 run, and that's really been the story of this game to this point. 26-20 right now, and the Axmen will throw the ball with Mo Strong. Will throw it down to Otis Odom for St. Joseph.
Mo Strong with that strong arm, throwing that one deep. Bit of a duck, but it's going to be a returnable ball here. He's got to move on that side, a little bit of an extension past that 15, and that's going to be where they stop him. Otis Odom to that 15-yard line with 14 seconds to go in the second quarter. And if you're the St. Joseph's team, what do you need to do to get to that end zone before the half?
Realistically here, they've got maybe 1 or 2 plays left in them. There's not a lot of time to really set up. They don't have time to set up a calm and collected drive because the Axmen burnt up really all that time. So now Kansas City, we'll see if they might just try to take this into the half. We'll see what they elect to do here.
Especially since they gave up a defensive touchdown already. But they are not electing to do that. Instead, they're going to try and throw this ball and get something going. That's going to be tipped around and, oh, almost caught. Did he catch that? He may have caught that. He did catch that. He caught that at the 15-yard line and got bobbled by about 3 different sets of hands.
The ruling on the field is a completed
and somehow
catch.
Landed
Timeout,
into the
St.
hands
Joseph.
there of Boo Smith.
Their second of the
They'll
half.
call that a completion right there at the 15, and they're in scoring distance with 4 seconds to go.
Yeah, that's one thing that the Axmen really did not want to have happen there is that big play. They had a chance there to just put the game into the halftime break, but sometimes you're just a little bit unlucky. That one bounces around through a bunch of hands and lands right in favor of St. Joseph. Now they'll have really one more play here to punch the ball into the end zone. So we'll see what both teams elect to do here. St. Joseph obviously trying to, at the very least, level things going into the break. Eau Claire looking to, well, prevent them from leveling things.
And they pulled Stephen Thomas for this last one. 4 seconds to go. Last play now. Trujillo looking around, trying to find someone, and that's going to get almost caught. Almost caught. Went right through, right into Lorenzo Thompson. Runs to start off. 26-20 lead as we were just about to start this throw off.
Yeah, here's a throw off. Austin Batcher back to receive it. Takes it back in his own end zone. He'll try to run it out. Dodges the tackler. Breaks free to the 10. Runs into a wall at about the 15 and stretches out to the 17-yard line. And that is where the Axmen will get the ball to start with.
And that's what I love most about this Eau Claire Axmen team. Always trying to get that extra yardage there, and Batcher just completely elongating, trying to get every extra inch and yard there. Could have been stopped at the 13-14, but instead moved forward, got that extra inch forward. He's going to get it past that 15.
Empty backfield here for the Axmen. Wade Freeman back to pass at his own 10. Sends a man in motion, takes the snap. Now he'll run it himself out to the 15, goes outside to the 20 and is swung down at the 20-yard line by Jalen Knox for the St. Joseph Goats. Good gain, though, on first down for him. He'll get 6 on the play and move it to the 21-yard line.
And they're up 26-20 right now in this third quarter. They don't need to score right now, right away. They can take a little bit of time, do what they're used to, get down the field, quick and concise, and take their time and get another one on the board.
Same formation for the Axmen here. Wade Freeman takes the snap, looking to pass, fires near side, up against the wall. A battle for it on the near side of the land, incomplete, as Mo Strong was going head-to-head. Correction, that is not Mo Strong, that is Chicane Corentin, as he was going head-to-head with Clarence Taylor of St. Joseph. It was right up against this near wall, folks. A 9 looks like a 6 right there, so I don't know about you, but that looked very much like Mo Strong on that side, but Shaq Corentin right there just could not keep it under his grasp. It'll be third down and still a good range to go. Freeman waiting. Now makes a move. Looks like he'll run it himself. Breaks by a tackler and gets right up to the line to gain. And they will say he got the first down, so move the chains for the Axmen. They get right to the line to gain, and a first down for them.
And that's just the dual threat of Wade Freeman there. Being able to make a man miss and be able to extend that play to be able to get another first down. I mean, we've seen 2 design runs from this Eau Claire Axmen offense, both of them for Wade Freeman.
Yeah, Wade Freeman back in the backfield again. He's got a man off to the side of him. That's Mo Strong. He'll send him in motion. Takes the snap. Look to pass. Now he'll run it himself again and is spun down almost immediately after a gain of about 3 yards up to the 21-yard line. And that'll set up second down and a good 7 yards still to gain.
And slow and steady wins the race here. And as Wade Freeman checks back over towards the 10, he's actually going to check out right now.
Yeah, we'll see Joel Shaw take over at quarterback for the Eau Claire Axmen as of right now.
Looks like Freeman may be hurt over by that 10.
Yeah, that's not something you like to see. Shaw runs it himself, spins away from a tackler, and is brought down at the 17-yard line. Is Joel Shaw. He was met there by Raymond Boone of the St. Joseph Goats.
And he's been getting some run in here, especially with how this Eau Claire Axmen team is set up. You can really run from every angle.
Yeah, seen a lot of runs from high snap to Joel Shaw. He decides to take it himself, spins away from a tackler, gets 3 to the 10, 5, and is brought down at the 5-yard line. Are they saying, no, he was not brought down. He never touched the ground. Joel Shaw into the end zone for the touchdown. Timber for the Axmen. Joel Shaw gets the ball into the end zone and puts 6 more on the board for the Eau Claire Axmen.
Yeah, and he was just resting on the back of that defender before getting back up and just sprinting in for that touchdown. Never got him cleanly down, and now that's going to be another Eau Claire Axmen touchdown. they're kind of looking at it right now just to make sure that it is actually a touchdown. Nothing's been put up on the board yet, but still a great effort there from Joel Shaw, who came in for that injured Wade Freeman and immediately took it in for a touchdown.
So, yeah, no changes on the board quite yet. It is a touchdown, so the Axmen will like to add 2 more to it. They'll go for it from the 10. Wade Freeman back in. Takes the snap. Rolls out. Fire to the end zone. Missed his target, Corentin. Threw it a little behind him, and so the Axmen have failed to score. But either way, they take a 32-20 lead, a 12-point advantage for them, and will give the ball back to St. Joseph.
And that was a little bit of lip service there between Joel Shaw and Jalen Jordan, a little bit of talking to each other.
Timeout on the field.
And we will send this one into the media timeout. Remember, folks, to check out the Fan Club app now to see if you are one of the people in the fan highlight reel. Check your... And welcome back to the Sontag Event Center. Mo Strong will fling the ball away to Otis Odom for St. Joseph, and we're back underway. Odom running to the near side. He's got room to the 25-20. 15, runs into a wall, tries to cut back, and is flung down at the 10-yard line. Now there's going to be a late flag coming in. He was brought down by Joe King, but there will be a flag on the play. We'll see what this is about.
Could be a little bit of taunting in the back there from number 22, Marcus Weefel. But I'm pretty sure this might be a late hit, either a late hit or too much of a hit here for the Eau Claire Axmen. But either way, they're kind of still sitting around that 5 to 10-yard line. Just another great play by Odom, too. Otis Odom's been absolutely stellar returning these kicks.
Yeah, that's really been the best kick return, well, not kick return, throw return of the day.
Yeah.
I got to get used to the throw off here.
Big change here.
Best throw return, really, of this game, as we'll see what the official ruling is.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Return team, half the distance to the goal. First down. Correction, throwing team, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Oh, so it's going to be unnecessary roughness on the Eau Claire Axmen. So that'll move St. Joseph to the 5-yard line of Eau Claire. And if there was any chance for St. Joseph to score, it would be right now.
It only takes one to start a storm here, and St.
The
Joseph's
personal
really
foul
trying
was
to
on
get
number
back into this one,
23
down
of the
12
throwing
again,
team.
10:05 to go in this third quarter.
Still 10:05 left to go here in this third quarter, so that's plenty of time for anything to happen. So from the 5-yard line, Trujillo has a man in the backfield. He'll hand it off to Burnett. Burnett runs to the far side, but then is brought down almost immediately by Joel Shaw. He'll gain maybe a yard on the play, but that'll set up second down and goal. Quickly back to the line is St. Joseph. Fakes to give to Burnett, now rolling near side. And incomplete, looking to the near side for, it's looking for Jamal Williams there on the near side, but he was covered up by Antoine Holloway, who actually nearly got a pick there in the end zone. That'll set up third down and still very convertible range. Trujillo rolling out far side. Now under pressure, nearly gets sacked, throws back to the end zone, caught. Touchdown for the St. Joseph Goats. Ryan Martinez finds the ball in the back of the end zone, and St. Joseph has a response with an extra 6 on the board.
And that's a second time that a receiver's been able to find a spot where there was just no one there and just sit down and wait for that ball to come to him. Trujillo's doing all that magic in that backfield, getting chased around by Stephen Thomas, but finding his man there in the back of the end zone. Great throw.
So they'll go for 2 here. Trujillo rolling out, now under pressure from Stephen Thomas. Rolled out, fires to the far side, and wide open was Jamal Williams for the extra 2 points. And just like that,
timeout
it was 32-28. So we will take this into the media timeout with the Axmen leading by 4. And fans, don't forget to open the Fan Club app now to check if you made the fan highlight reel. I see a lot of white shirts out there, a lot of people that could easily have made it. And don't forget to check your points as well and claim those rewards. Set up a 1st down and 15 yards instead of the 1st and 10.
Just a lot of moving pieces, and sometimes you just get a little bit too antsy at the line there.
Empty backfield again for Joel Shaw. Takes the snap. Decides he'll run it himself. Breaks free to the far side, and then is pushed around by everybody. The entire St. Joseph roster starts to make their way over to try to stop Joel Shaw there. He kept trying to break free. Ends up going nowhere. In fact, backwards even farther. So they go backwards 1 yard, 2nd down and 16 now for the Axmen.
Yeah, and he was breaking free. He was getting out of those a couple of those arm tackles, but just could not break completely out of it and gets brought down for a pretty reasonably sized loss there.
Yeah, well, when you have that many guys on you, there's not much you can do. Wade Freeman back at quarterback. Fakes the throw. Now he'll throw it near side. Incomplete. Looking to the near side for Devon Ford right at the 10-yard line. He wants a flag. He isn't going to get one, but they look trying to hit Devon Ford right on that sideline. He just could not complete the catch.
Yeah, and his legs got tangled up there. He wanted to get a flag on that one to bail him out, but that was just tight coverage and just an errant throw with Devon Ford falling down, just a mixture for a bad play in general.
Well, now that sets down a 3rd down and long for the Axmen. Wade Freeman takes the snap. Now throws it downfield looking for Cinquay Grant, and it's incomplete. The fans arguing, they think Grant caught the ball, but the on-field official right there says nay to that, so that'll set up a 4th down and a very long way for the Axmen to go. And I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to give the ball to St. Joseph at the 15, which honestly right now, because remember, no kicking. That also includes punts in this league. So do the Axmen decide they want to give the ball to St. Joseph at the 15, at their own 15, rather than try to go for it on this 4th down and 16 play?
And especially when you're up 32-28. But it looks like they may just go for it.
Yeah, it's looking more and more likely like they're about to go for it here. They've got 10 on the play clock. They gotta do something here. Play clock's no, they reset the play clock now. I was gonna say,
like, they were almost out. But they did reset it. Now 13 seconds and now 5:30 and less change to go.
So yeah, they'll go for it on this 4th down and an Uber ride to go. Wade Freeman takes the snap. Looking, throws it to the near side, caught by Corentin. Tries to break past one tackler, gets close to the line of scrimmage, but not quite far enough. He'll be down at about the 16-yard line, just 1 yard short of what was needed, and St. Joseph will get the ball.
Turnover on downs, 1st down.
And honestly, if you're the Axmen in this case, you'll take that. Because while you did try and almost get that 1st down, it was still going to be the same result if you just kind of flipped the field and gave it to him at the 15. At least you gave yourself a fighting chance to get that 1st down and just barely missed.
And to be fair, that one, if he could just break free of one more tackle, he's probably got that 1st down. But now St. Joseph's got that ball at their own 16-yard line. Trujillo fakes the give, now throws it near side to Lorenzo Thompson. He gets a good run out to midfield and then is bumped into the wall. He'll be marked down at the 24-yard line, so a gain of 7 yards. Quickly back up to the line of St. Joseph, trying to wear out the Eau Claire Axmen defense. Takes the snap, throws it to the near side. It is incomplete. Looking to the near side for Ryan Martinez, but nothing coming there. The thing with our view here is we can't really see this near side wall when the players go down for it.
No, it is a literal blind spot for us. We try to make our best estimate.
Trujillo hands it off to Burnett far side. He runs into a brick wall of the Eau Claire Axmen. and he'll go nowhere. So the Axmen showing their defensive might. It'll be 4th down and about a yard to go.
And you know they're going to go for this.
Yeah, Trujillo. Flags fly here. We'll see what, and it's going to be a false start on St. Joseph here. They're not happy with it, but it's going to be the call, and that'll push them back an extra 5 yards. So make it, instead of a 4th and 1, they got to deal with a 4th and 6 now from their own 20-yard line. So with still 4:01 left in this first half. Correction, not first half. We're not even in the first half. It's the second half.
Close enough, close enough.
4:01 left in the third quarter. Axmen leading 32-28.
That's the problem with going quick, though. Sometimes you're just not set at that line.
So St. Joseph will go for it. Trujillo rolling to the near side, looking. Now throws over the middle, intercepted. Taken away by the Axmen. It's going to be Joe King, and he'll run it back out to the 20-yard line and is run into the wall. Joe King takes the ball away with the interception, and the Eau Claire Axmen get the ball right back. And it looks like that'll send us into the media timeout. And remember, fans, to open that Fan Club app now and check out if you made the fan highlight reel. Don't forget to also check your points and make sure to claim those rewards that might still be sitting there. A lot of people in the backfield now for the Axmen. Wade Freeman, the quarterback. Sends Ford in motion, takes the snap, fakes the give to Ford, now drops back to pass, throwing downfield, looking for Cinquay Grant, and it's incomplete. Cinquay Grant was running downfield, was one-on-one with Raymond Boone, but in the end, the ball just got knocked away from him, and the Axmen will have to settle now for 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and Cinquay Grant, he's been winning that matchup all game long. Just another torch there from Grant. Just could not come up with that. Very well defended there by Boone on the back end.
Yeah, we've seen the Axmen run that route a ton today. The thing is, it's only worked once so far. Surely it's got to work again.
Timeout, Eau Claire. Their first of the half.
And the Eau Claire Axmen decide to use a time with Wade Freeman being the lone person back there. Sends his man in motion. Takes the snap, a high one. Looking to pass, now throws it deep, looking for Stanley Williams. He's got it up against the wall. Touchdown! Timber for the Axmen. Stanley Boom Williams finds the end zone on the big pass and adds 6 more to the Eau Claire Axmen tally. They lead 38-28.
And talk about a boom there from big Stanley Boom Williams, the running back wide receiver. Caught that, landed against the wall, held on to that ball, and maintained that touchdown. A great job from him and a beautiful throw. Again, I just feel like I've said that so many times about Wade Freeman. He just has an arm on him.
Yeah, it was a great throw by Wade Freeman and a great catch by Stanley Boom Williams. Able to make that play right up against the wall, too, to make it extra difficult. Well, the Axmen are going to go for 2 here from the 10-yard line. Wade Freeman back to pass, another high snap, rushes forward, finds Mo Strong in the end zone with the pass. So add 2 to the score line, and the Axmen lead 40-28 with 1:49 to go in this. 1:49 to go here in this third quarter.
And Mo Strong, I mean, talk about a big-bodied receiver, able to make that. That was a very easy play by him, just able to just make a single cut inside and was completely wide open. Beat that linebacker. No one was there to cover him. Just a great job by him to find that awareness, find that space, and just sit down and wait for that ball to come to him.
And that's the thing that the Eau Claire receivers have done very well today, and that's been beating their defenders. A lot of times it's them toasting them on that streak route. Other times it's just them, they're just outpacing them today, and that's what's allowed them to get this 12-point lead on St. Joseph at this stage in the game.
Or even breaking that zone. I mean, they keep running that zone defense, and no matter what, somehow, some way, the Eau Claire Axmen receivers have been able to find some kind of space in between that and really just break it out and get that score. Great job by them.
Yeah, they're just making the plays. That's all it is today. They're finding ways to get the play done, and that's really what's been the key to them being so successful today. They're making the extra move and able to get the extra yards every single chance they get, and that's allowed them to get to this stage. Well, now they've got to give the ball back to St. Joseph and play defense now. Mo Strong will get set with the throw off here. To throw it back to the second best returner in the entire league, Otis Odom. Nothing like the two best returners in the league going head-to-head, and we've seen that very much today, how good they are. Otis Odom's had very good returns, and Devon Ford for Eau Claire has been just as good.
It's been very fun, very exciting to see these two work against each other. And I mean, they're not running right at each other. However, they are dueling in the sense whoever can get the more yards, whoever can get the biggest return, the most exciting return, is going to be one of the teams to win this game. And man, the Axmen have been really getting that done today.
Yeah, we've seen both of these guys have been very good on the returning front when it comes to getting that ball and sometimes even flipping the field into their opponent's territory, into the 20 or even the 15. We saw one Otis Odom run get to the 10-yard line. It's definitely possible these guys can break free. As Mo Strong will throw the ball downfield. It's a bit of a short one. That'll go out of play, and that's going to be a flag, though, as you can't throw the ball out of play, and we're going to have a little bit of pushing and shoving going on. Jacob Davies is one of them over there.
Throw off violation, throwing team.
And a couple of
the ball be placed in midfield. First down.
It's gotten chippy today. There's been some chippy moments, even though it's a 40-28 lead right now. There's been a lot of back and forth talking. We've seen some arguing on the field. We've seen some back talk towards each other. We've seen some pushing, some shoving, but that's all in the name of the game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're just trying to defend their team every chance they can possibly get. Well, the ball going out of play is a flag, which means the ball gets put at midfield. It's basically, so the ball going out of play is basically the exact same as if it were to hit the roof.
Timeout, Eau Claire.
To call a timeout.
Their second of the half.
The Axmen coach not really liking what he's seeing out there.
Yeah, you can tell he was not very happy with how his team was set up right there. So he will have to use a timeout to get the team set up correctly. 1:33 here still to go in this third quarter. So that's still plenty of time for St. Joseph to even score before this quarter ends. But remember, once the quarter ends, it's not like if the half ends where you completely run out of time and lose the ball. In the third quarter, you can take your time if you're St. Joseph and go down methodically and go score some points.
Just setting yourself up, really, to get yourself another score here, because you're down 12, but you're not down 20 or 30 or anything like that. It's still a reasonable amount to get back into it.
Yeah, and St. Joseph has played a lot of comeback football this season. I'll get to it after this play. Trujillo pitches it to Ryan Martinez on the near side, and he'll run straight into the wall right after a gain of about 2 yards.
And there's a flag on the play, too.
Oh, yeah, flag in the backfield here. It looks like it's going to be on St. Joseph. We'll see what this is about.
That's the chippiness we were talking about there. We'll see if it's an unsportsmanlike penalty, but it looked like number 7, Otis Odom, actually may have been blocking a little too long on that.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 15. It's a 15-yard penalty, second down.
So, yeah, unnecessary roughness is the call on that play, so that'll back up St. Joseph.
Correction, number 7.
Yards on that play. That is not something you want if you're St. Joseph. You have that big play right there, and then you give it all up and are backed up now to a second down and 25 yards to go. So a long way to go. Takes the snap, runs out to the 10, then a dump pass to the near side to Boo Smith, trying to evade some tacklers, and then is brought down after a gain of 3 yards to the 15-yard line. So like I was about to say, this St. Joseph team has played a lot of comeback football. They've been down in every single game they've been in by a good 2 score. As the quarterback, Trujillo, takes the snap, under pressure, nearly gets thrown to the ground, able to dump it off to the tight end Jamal Williams, and is brought down at the 23-yard line by A.J. Brown.
That's going to bring up 4th down here.
And yeah, that's 4th down and 2 yards, and while St. Joseph's trying to work quick here. Trujillo, empty backfield, takes the snap, rolling to the near side, flings it deep to the end zone, caught, touchdown. Boo Smith was right there in the end zone, and just like that, St. Joseph with one play gets 6 more on the board. It's 40-34.
And that wasn't even Trujillo's first option there. He was trying to find something quick and short underneath to try and pick up that 1st down, but saw Boo Smith just clear as day, completely over the top, and was able to just get him for that touchdown.
Trujillo going for 2 points here. Rolling, running around. Look for the pass, ball comes free. Scooped up, though, by Jamal Williams, who tries to stretch for the 2, and he's going to get it. It was a fumble onto the ground by Trujillo. Luckily for him, it got scooped up by Eau Claire Axmen, lead 40-36 as the throw-off is in the air and grabbed right at the end zone by Austin Batcher. He'll run it out to the 15, tries to break through a tackler and is brought down at the 20-yard line. Austin Batcher with a good run. However, it is stopped by Marcus Weefel of St. Joseph.
And that was probably one of the better throws we've seen this game on those throw-offs. Probably a pretty good one there from Lorenzo Thompson. Just a beautiful spiral, but still returnable, and a good return there by Batcher as well. He's been really getting his return game going here, and especially in the second half, down 40-36.
Yeah, this mixture of both Austin Batcher and Devon Ford on the returns definitely causes a mix for the St. Joseph team as they run into a situation of who really to focus on. As back to pass is Freeman. He'll throw it deep right away to St. Clay Grant, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Timber for the Axmen. Right away, St. Clay Grant finds his way into the end zone, and the Axmen take a 46-36 lead.
And that's just another Wade Freeman throw, just right there on the money. No one really there besides Cinque Grant, and he just completely torched the corner on that edge. Great job by him and a great job by Wade Freeman to make that pass happen. He's been really going at it this game.
Yeah, Wade Freeman not afraid to throw that deep ball downfield to hit a Cinque Grant who had just absolutely torched his defender. He really had no chance of catching him. And now the Axmen have a chance to add to it. Freeman steps up, looking, now throws to Cinque Grant, but he's not going to get in. He's brought down at the 2-yard line as the Axmen tried to go for the 2 from the 10, but are unsuccessful on it. But
timeout on the field.
6 to the scoreboard and make it 46-36 in favor of the Axmen.
And honestly, that's the best you can get out of that. That's the best you can get, especially because of how they haven't been able to really get that 2-point conversion or really those extra conversions either for most of this game. Being able to put those points on the board, especially like right after the St. Joseph Goats had just gotten another touchdown on the board, that's exactly the way you want to come back into this one. But Cinque Grant almost had that one right near the goal line, but a great job there again by Clarence Taylor. He's been one of the sure tacklers on that St. Joseph Goats team.
Yeah, I mean, the Axmen have been very good offensively today. This has really been their best offensive game of the entire season in terms of scoring. They've scored really consistently every single drive, and really you can't ask for much more from them. They're able to get points on the board consistently and are really just outpacing St. Joseph in the scoring department, leading now by 10 points.
And like you said, but the defense hasn't really been there as much for them. They've gotten some good stops here and there and have gotten a defensive touchdown as well. But just being able to outpace the Goats has really been key to them winning this game so far today.
And as far as St. Joseph is concerned right now, you've still got 13 and a half minutes left. In the Arena League, that is plenty upon plenty of time to score 2 touchdowns and hold your opponent off the board for one of them. So St. Joseph, by all means, is definitely not out of this. They still all it takes is one touchdown, and then one stop, and all of a sudden things get dicey for Eau Claire.
And to your point, we just saw back-to-back touchdowns.
Yeah, as Mo Strong will throw it back to Otis Odom, who will take it out of the end zone. He'll run it out to the 15 and is wrapped up from behind. Wrapped up by Jacob Davies there for Eau Claire. And St. Joseph will get this ball right around the 15-yard line.
And there just wasn't really enough blocking around Otis Odom, who's had some good blocking for most of this game when he's been able to return those big ones, but just nothing there. A sea of white jerseys there as the Axmen converged and brought him down for a reasonable gain.
Well, this is where St. Joseph needs to prove what they're capable of. Trujillo, back to pass, rolling out. Now moving forward, looking, now flings it downfield. Oh, in and out of the hands of Ryan Martinez. That was right to him, and that's going to be one he wants back. Yeah, he's pointing to his chest. He knows. It went right into his hands and just fell right out of him. That's going to be one he wants back. 2nd and 10, and the Goats are going to run it right away. Trujillo rolling out far side. Now throws it back to the near side, incomplete. Looking for Otis Odom there, and that'll set up 3rd down and 10 for the Goats, so unable to move on these last 2 plays.
And they're just going too quick. I mean, right now it's 3rd down, but you still have 12 minutes and 30 seconds to go in this 4th quarter. You're only down 10. All you need is that 1st down.
Yeah, now they'll run it again. Trujillo, he'll do it himself. Breaks free of the 25, now cuts to the near side, and is taken down by a seal of tacklers. Current being one of them for the Eau Claire Axmen. Nevertheless, a 15-yard gain and a 1st down.
And that's what makes Trujillo so dangerous, very mobile on his legs.
And again, quickly back up to the line of St. Joseph. 12 minutes still to go in this one. Claps his hands and takes the snap. Quickly to the far side, hitting his man by the name of Boo Smith. And he'll gain a good 4 yards on that play, up to about the 15-yard line. We'll say the 16 here. It'll be 2nd down. 2nd down and 5 here, actually, from the 15. St. Joseph again. Trujillo. Back to pass. Now he'll run it himself. Steps up to the 10, to the 5, and is wrapped up and brought backwards. Forward progress will be stopped at the 5 for Trujillo, but he has been very mobile this drive, getting extra yardage with his legs when nobody's open.
He's always willing to put that team on his back.
Trujillo back into the end zone, touchdown. Boo Smith able to catch one in the end zone, and the St. Joseph Goats add 6 more on the board. And all of a sudden, it is the Eau Claire Axmen who might be in a little bit of trouble here. St. Joseph tries to add on. They have the score of 46-44 on the screen.
Yeah, that's not right.
It's 46-42, actually. St. Joseph going for 2 here. Under pressure, the ball will go off the back wall, but out of bounds. So the score will be 46-42. I'm not sure if it shows it on there, but we will send this one now to the media timeout. And remember, fans, to open the Fan Club app now and check if you've made the fan highlight reel for today. And also, hello to my dad, who is listening to today's game from Illinois right now. He just texted me telling me to give him a shout out as the throw off goes to Stanley Williams, and he'll be brought down pretty much instantly at the 2-yard line, one of the shorter returns of the entire day. Great throw, though, so not much more you can ask from Boom Williams. He just ran straight into a wall.
Just a perfect placement there, and that's kind of the strategy you see with some of these throw-offs, really getting it into a tough position to be able to run it back at all, especially with how dangerous these returners can be. That's the best way to get them at a short field position. And here you see the Eau Claire Axmen getting that short field, or getting that long field, I should say.
As the Axmen now have to figure out how to navigate the field now, starting from their own 3-yard line, folks. Their quarterback is all the way in the end zone, Wade Freeman, about midway through the end zone. Send the man in motion. Now he'll take the snap. Throws, not. It was tipped right as he threw it by Raymond Boone, who had gotten into the backfield. And that'll set up 2nd down and 10. That could have been a lot worse had that ball been snagged.
Either that or if his arm had gotten bent behind him, because that could have been a fumble right there. Could have even been a touchdown, if not a safety. But very lucky if you're the Axmen to be getting this one back.
And the thing about being in this position, if you're the Axmen, you just want to get your quarterback out of the end zone as soon as possible. Freeman throws it short to Corentin, and he'll be bumped into the wall about the 9-yard line after the throw by Wade Freeman. That'll bring up 3rd down and relatively short. And the good news for the Axmen is your quarterback is now out of the end zone, so you don't have to worry about that safety. And I'm not sure who's operating the scoreboard, but they continue to make simple mistakes on the board. It just said 46-45 for a couple seconds. I'm going to call them out every time they make that mistake. Freeman, high snap, tries to run it himself, and he'll be knocked down after a gain of 1 yard. It'll set up 4th down and very short here.
And this is an interesting position to be in right now, because if you go for it and you don't get it, this could set this up. This could set up the Goats in a very good spot. But if you get this 1st down, you can continue ticking that clock down right now with 8:37 to go and counting, and hopefully get this thing out.
Very risky play here. Wade Freeman takes the snap. He'll look to pass. Fires downfield, looking for Cinquay Grant, but it's out of his reach. They tried to go for it all there, but instead it's an incomplete pass, and St. Joseph gets great field position.
And that's the boomer bust of trying to throw a deep pass in that situation. While that was a great job and a great play to have in your back pocket, and it has worked for them when it wasn't 4th and 1 before too, they could not connect on that one, just a little too far by Wade on that throw. So this will be the St. Joseph Goats ball.
Yep, Trujillo. Under pressure from Joel Shaw, lobs to the back of the end zone. Nobody's there. It'll be an incomplete pass into the back corner, and that'll set up 2nd down and 10 from the 12-yard line.
A little fan almost came home with a souvenir there, almost making that catch on that back sideline right next to the paneling.
Trujillo throws it to the end zone. It's going to be caught, touchdown, Boo Smith. He makes the completion in the end zone, and the St. Joseph Goats take the lead at 48-46.
And just not what you wanted if you were the Eau Claire Axmen. You were doing so well on defense, really held them there. But of course, starting at the opposing 15-yard line is a very, very short field to work with. Great job by the Goats.
All right, St. Joseph will go for one here, looking to make it a 3-point game. Trujillo rolling out to the far side. Wants an option, now fires back to the end zone. It's going to be caught here by Ryan Martinez for the score. And just like that, it's St. Joseph who takes the lead with 7:12 to go. They lead 49-46. Well, that'll send us now into the media timeout. So remember,
timeout on the field.
Check out the fan club app today. Make sure to fling the ball from his own end zone. We'll see if he's able to pin the Axmen back. A good throw. Caught it about the 3. Boom Williams tries to find a gap. He's got a gap after the 15. Tripped up at the 20 and rolls forward to the 23-yard line. A great return there from Stanley Williams. And the Eau Claire Axmen have good field position to start.
Yeah, and he was almost brought down very early on, but was just able to, like a video game character, move around like he was being controlled like a joystick, being able to contort his body just wherever he needed to go to be able to get an extra yardage. And that's just what you got to love about Stanley Williams. He's just always willing to take that extra effort and run with it.
Well, we've reached under 7 minutes and counting here. 6:45 still to go. As Freeman sends a man in motion, takes the snap. Now fires back to the end zone, looking for Mo Strong. Incomplete. Right through his hands. And Mo Strong just could not keep the handle on it. And that'll set up 2nd down and 10 instead of potentially a touchdown there.
And that was their bread and butter through most of that first half, finding someone deep and past that 10-yard line further into the end zone. Strong's been that strong-handed receiver for most of this game, just could not reel in that one.
Well, Joel Shaw will be back at quarterback. He'll run it himself here and is immediately stopped after a gain of maybe 1 yard there. He ran straight into a wall consisting of Antonio Taylor Jr. as one of them and just could not get through the ankle tacklers that were there. So now 3rd down, 9 yards to go, and if you're the Axmen, you really need to pick this one up. St. Joseph is not going to let you stall out at midfield. Freeman takes the snap. Under pressure, fires underneath, incomplete. Knocked away from Stanley Boone Williams by Clarence Taylor, and that sets up 4th down now. And if you're the Axmen, this is really a necessary pickup. 4th down and 9, you've got 5 minutes left on the clock. St. Joseph has not slowed down the offense really since the end of the first half. They've gotten the offense on fire. So Eau Claire really needs to pick this up. Freeman takes a snap, thought about passing. Now under a lot of pressure, rolling away from it, looking, now throws downfield. Jump ball, it is incomplete. An incompletion in the back of the end zone. They were looking for Joel Shaw. The fans thought it was a touchdown, but the St. Joseph Goats escape, and Eau Claire goes 4 and out.
And Joel Shaw had a real big chance at that one there. Had his hands on it for a second, but just a great play by the defensive back to really push that ball out. And they've been really strong-arming these Axmen receivers, not really letting anything get into the hands and stay in the hands. As soon as it hits, they're immediately going for that ball. That was a smart adjustment by them at halftime, and now the St. Joseph Goats take over.
As here's a pitch play to Ryan Martinez, and he'll run it out to the 21-yard line for a 2nd down and 7 yards now. And again, St. Joseph quickly back into position now, and now it looks like they're going to slow things down a little bit here. You've got 20 seconds. You don't need to be up after 5, but we see that a lot from St. Joseph. Oh, direct snap to Martinez here, and he's going to be wrapped up at the 18-yard line for the Axmen, and that'll set up 3rd down now.
And as you had said earlier, this St. Joseph's team is really trying to get that first win this season. You do not want to go 0-3 in such a short season. That you can just tell by the amount of plays and the different kinds of various plays that they're really trying to get this one out.
Martinez in the backfield along with Trujillo. Trujillo dumps it underneath to the tight end Williams. And he'll bully ball his way up to right about where the 1st down is, and they're going to give him the 1st down. So move the chains for Jamal Williams, and the St. Joseph Goats are looking very close to making this a 2-possession game with 3.5 to go.
And that's dangerous if you're the Axmen. There's only 1 timeout left for the Eau Claire Axmen.
Timeout, Eau Claire. Their 3rd and final of the half.
Have to use their final timeout here to get set here. And
that's not what they want.
with the Axmen out of timeouts with 3:19 to go, and St. Joseph threatening to break this one open in terms at this juncture in the game. It's not really looking in favor of Eau Claire right now. St. Joseph looking very likely like they're about to punch this one in.
Yeah.
I mean, the Axmen are just in a lot of trouble right now.
They are, and that's the thing. They need to really settle down once they get back on defense here after this timeout. And that's, I think, what coach is trying to talk to them about, is just kind of settling down, settling in. They were doing very well in the first half on defense, really not allowing St. Joseph's to break anything free, but just recently they've been making some great catches and finding some great running lanes, and Eau Claire Axmen definitely trying to just close that down here in the late stage of this game.
Well, now 1st and 10. A direct snap to Martinez, and he'll break free to about the 10-yard line. So St. Joseph, they're now right at the 10-yard line. They're in a situation now where they're in scoring range. They've very much been in scoring range, and they've got the clock in their favor with under 3 minutes to go in this one. Martinez again with the direct snap. Tries to pitch it away. Ball's on the ground. Everybody flops for it. And it looks like it's going to stay St. Joseph ball, but that's going to be a long way back for them. It was Martinez. It was a design pitch play back to Trujillo on the
The ruling
side,
on the field was a backwards fumble recovered by the offense.
It's just a fumble.
Second down.
And all the way back now to the 22-yard
Correction, third
line
down.
on third down.
And if you're St. Joseph's, you're thanking your lucky stars that you got that one back, because that could have been very close to being Eau Claire Axmen's on the opposite side of the field.
Well, third down and an Uber ride to go for the St. Joseph Goats now. 5 on the play clock. They need to get something off. Trujillo takes the snap, looking for a deep pass. Now fires short over the middle, and getting right to the line to gain is Lorenzo Thompson.
This is
the
the 2-minute timeout.
Get it, but we will head now to the 2-minute warning.
And man, the Axmen have just been trying to keep this game alive for themselves here, back at home after getting that big win last weekend. Really trying to stave off the St. Joseph's team from making that comeback. They had an 18-8 lead at one point. They clawed back, and Eau Claire was able to regain a big bit of a lead there. Now St. Joseph's has come back into this. You got 4th down and what looks like about 10 to go. If you're this Eau Claire Axmen team, you got to get this stop here. You don't have any timeouts left. Less than 2 minutes to go. There's no other stoppages that's going to be here for you. St. Joseph's will be able to run out this clock. Can they stop? Can this Eau Claire team get that final stop?
Yep, 2-minute drill now. Final 2 minutes on the clock. The crowd is getting hyped now. 49-46. Trujillo takes the snap, rolling out, fires to the end zone, incomplete. No, it's caught. I didn't see Boo Smith, and he caught it for the touchdown. Boo Smith right in the blind spot for me, catches the ball in the end zone, and the St. Joseph Goats take a 55-46 lead.
He's been their nightmare all game, this last bit of the game especially. He's really come alive in the second half, but just making some of the most difficult catches at the back end zone, and that's exactly where they've struggled all game long. Boo Smith finding his spot there, getting that touchdown.
Well, now, if you're Eau Claire, you really need to stop this 1-point conversion here. Keep the game at 9 points. Trujillo takes the high snap, fires to the end zone, and it will not be good. Looking for Lorenzo Thompson, but he was guarded intensively by Shakane Corentin and Joe King. So 55-46 the score with 1:52 on the clock. And if you're the Axmen, you need a quick score on this drive right now. If you don't score, it's pretty much over.
Just take what you can and go from there. This team has been able to make some deep throws, some great throws from that 5-yard line. Let's see if they can make it happen again.
Well, in the big moments, this is where they need to shine. Wade Freeman fires short to Mo Strong on the near side. Breaks free to the 20, 25-20, and is knocked out of bounds on the side at the 15.
And that only knocked off about 14 seconds. Or not even 14. That knocked off barely less than 7 seconds, honestly, on that clock.
Yeah, it's going to be key they get out of this quickly here. So 1st and 10 now from the 19, they'll save is marked out. Freeman takes the snap, looking, now throws it to the near side and incomplete, looking for Boom Williams on the far side at about the 13-yard line.
And honestly, that's the best way to get that, especially with having that ball hit the ground. That's almost better for you than having only a 5-yard pickup and then falling down and losing 10 to 15 seconds. No timeouts left. You really got to work that sideline, find those gaps in the defense and really take something home here. You're down by 9 with 1:40. There's not a lot of room for error right now.
Wade Freeman, nobody next to him. Takes the snap. Looking now, steps up, he'll run it himself. Cuts back into the middle. Gets free to the 10 and down at about the 5. He is tackled, so the clock will run. Trying to get quickly set up is Eau Claire. Clock is running under 90 seconds now. 1:20 on the clock. The team's trying to get set. It's 1st and goal from the 6-yard line. Clock's going to continue to run. And
they need to get something out there.
Something needs to be run here. They're nearly under a minute, and that's not going to be it. They're running out of time here. Wade Freeman takes the snap. Throws to the end zone, incomplete. Chicane Correnton unable to corral that one in the end zone. And with 58 seconds left, the Axmen really needing to score on this play right here.
Yeah, and I mean, you still have a little bit of time left, but you need something here within the next 15, 20 seconds if you want to give yourself some time on that defensive end. Because you still got to stop them 3 times in a row. And that's going to be really hard to do with under a minute left.
So that'll set up 2nd down from the 6-yard line. Freeman takes the snap. Throws to the end zone, a 50-50 ball, and it's going to be incomplete. Boom Williams unable to correction. That's Mo Strong over there. He's unable to make the one-handed grab in the back of the end zone. And the clock's now down to 54 seconds on this 3rd down and 6 coming up.
And he thought that there should have been a penalty on that play, but it was a lot of just hand grabbing. They're not going to call anything on that unless it's really jarring.
So that'll set up, once again, 3rd down and 6 from the 6-yard line for the Axmen. Freeman barking out order, sends Boom Williams in motion, takes the snap, lobs it back to the end zone, and picked off. Intercepted in the back of the end zone by Clarence Taylor. He's going to run this back out to the 20, 25-20. Sheds away from the tackle, then slams into the wall at the 17-yard line. And that probably just sealed it for the St. Joseph Goats. An interception in the back of the end zone by Clarence Taylor. And with 41 seconds left, the Goats will most likely kneel out the rest of this clock.
And that was just a great read there by Clarence Taylor to step in front of that ball and get a great interception. Then having the wherewithal to get some kind of a return so you're not working it at the 5-yard line and having to risk a safety. But still, just a great job by him. He hasn't had an interception in this game yet, but it felt like he was working towards it with how many pass breakups he was getting, as well as how close he was on a couple of those throws that were a little bit errant from Wade Freeman. But Wade Freeman, great start to the game. He had a great touchdown but to start off the 2nd quarter, or to start off the 3rd quarter, I should say, but just couldn't capitalize on the lead that they had there. And that's another interception that he's thrown in this half.
Yeah, so just a rough way for the Eau Claire Axmen to fall short today to an 0-2 St. Joseph team. St. Joseph will just kneel out the clock here. So with this win, St. Joseph will improve to 1-2, and the Axmen will fall to 1-2. Remember, folks, coming up next, it's the Arena League post-game show with Tim Brown, featuring top plays and league insights. You won't want to miss this.
And especially after such an entertaining and exciting game, you're going to want to hear all the insights and the ins and outs of what just happened, what's going to be going on in this game, what's going on next game. It's exciting, it's great to hear, and it's a great show to be tuned into.
Well, the final seconds will tick away in this one. The players begin to relax the muscles, and the St. Joseph Goats defeat the Eau Claire Axmen by
fly away. It's the first time of today.